Two idiots talking over stuff. Talking over. Talking over. Talking over.
Wow, wowie, wow. What's up, you fucking idiots? Hey.
Wow, what's up?
Wow. Hi, Felicia.
Oh, you said my name?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
You're Felicia.
I'm Felicia. I'm one of the hosts of the podcast. You can find me at... Well, you threw me off.
Are you high?
No. I am one of the... I literally opened my eyes after being asleep for 2 hours. Right before we hit record.
All right.
Hey, I'm Felicia. I'm one of the hosts of the podcast. You can find me at Felicia3 on Twitter and Instagram. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Jesse. You can find me on Twitter at @LByNight. That's my internet name.
Wow, and together we're two idiots talking over stuff.
Uh-huh.
You can find all the links to our socials on our website, www.idiots.fm, including the link to our Discord, where you can go to chat with other people listening. You can ask us questions and hypotheticals, and you can tell us what you think we should watch, or, how much you think one host is better than the other.
You can call me a horrible misogynist after you listen to The Descent.
Yeah, hopefully that's listenable, because we had words at the end of that.
It seemed listenable.
That's good.
We had words wherein I misspoke something badly. But you didn't know I misspoke it.
No, I didn't. I like to try to... Well, first of all, we're at Tito's Pod everywhere, but most active on Twitter and Instagram. And you can also email us, hello@idiots.fm. Anyway.
YouTube. Give us a subscription on YouTube if you want. I don't know.
Yeah, please give us a subscription on YouTube so we can name ourselves. Most of the time I operate based on, like, you might say something fucked up, but it's coming from a good place.
That's generally, that's how my brain works. I'm like unfiltered, and the first thing that comes out of my mouth is usually not correct.
Yeah, but that watch along,
what I even want to represent.
Right. But that watch along was like coming on the precipice of me being stressed out about my stupid shit being broken in my kitchen and having to hide the cat. And also, Jesse has a lot of like hard stances that once he decides he doesn't love something for whatever reason, it's really hard to like convince you otherwise. And I think I was just like beating my head against the wall trying to change your mind, and I knew that wasn't really going to happen.
You just have to present me with information.
Yeah.
That like, which usually happens, by the way. Like when I have these hard stances, it's usually because I missed something important. And then while we're talking, it'll come back around and it'll be like, oh, right, you're right.
And it did. But the thing is, my go-to strat is usually to yell that you're wrong.
Yeah.
And that wasn't working, and I was getting frustrated.
That almost never gets frustrated. I'm also like very annoying to argue with. And I know this as for a fact because I'm very like even keeled, and I don't really get angry.
Yeah. You also don't really like you said, if presented with new information, you can be swayed, but otherwise there's really no moving you.
Yeah.
And I'm like desperately trying to compromise as much as I can, and nothing is changing your answer.
No, I'm pretty hard-headed. I'm terrible to argue with.
So yeah, go ahead and listen to that.
Yeah, good. I thought it was listenable. I was editing it. I was I was ready to be like, you want to record another thing? But it's listenable, I think. It's not as bad as you think.
Cool. Hey.
I
was going to ask a question, and I realized that you have music for that, so.
Yeah, here we go. Hey, Felicia.
Hey, Jesse.
What, you got anything new going on in your life? What's happening?
I have a couple things. So my garbage disposal was fixed.
Yeah.
I was telling Jesse a little bit about what happened.
It's
So
apparently
basically,
shooting brown sludge.
yeah, pretty much. So it had been broken for like several weeks, and I had submitted a maintenance request and never heard back, which is pretty unusual. They usually respond within a couple days. So I had just been like avoiding my kitchen sink and ordering every meal from DoorDash. But
Yeah.
it's starting to get pretty bad. So I was like, hey, we gotta deal with this now.
Yeah.
So they sent someone out, and like I had an hour's notice, so I started ferociously like combing my apartment for cat stuff to hide because I'm not supposed to have a cat.
Did you do a lint roller?
I didn't do a lint roller. I didn't have time.
Hmm.
And like I was also in fully just like pajamas, no makeup, no bra.
Yeah.
So I had to clean myself and the apartment up and like throw the cat in the bedroom for however long the dude was going to be here. So he gets here, and for some reason, like I couldn't even get the garbage disposal to make a noise when I flipped the switch, but both times someone came out to fix it, it sounds like it's working immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So he flipped the switch, it makes a noise, and he kind of looks at me like I'm insane. And I looked down, and I could see that it was just like shooting brown liquid out of the garbage disposal into my cabinet. So I kind of pointed, and I was just like, it's leaking.
Yeah.
And then he turned it off, looked at it, looked at me, and he was like, I'm gonna go get you a new garbage disposal. So that happened, and I didn't need to worry about my cat because he's just stupid enough to just kind of have not enough object permanence to know that where he is at any given moment isn't just his new permanent home.
Yeah.
So I put him in the bedroom, and he was kind of just like, I guess I live here now. And he did fine. He didn't scream.
Hell yeah. So it was just like the disposal itself. It wasn't like a clogged pipe or something.
Yeah, it was just the garbage disposal.
Wow.
Other than that, I spent some time in a bookstore, which I don't read a lot these days, but I still love to go to a bookstore with no like plan and just kind of grab something that appeals to me.
That's a smell that never leaves you.
Yeah, it's like such a relaxing
Yeah.
thing. I was also wearing the Guest hoodie, and the guy who worked there was like, "Oh, I just watched that movie. That was great." And I watched this. He was like, "I watched this other movie with him in it on Netflix." I was like, "Apostle." He was like, "Yeah."
And then you were like, "You want to come over to my house, watch it?"
No, no. He was an older man, an older gentleman.
We're talking older.
Yeah, we're talking like 50s, 60s.
Do you look rich? JK works in a bookstore.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like a secret billionaire.
Maybe.
But he's just got this like bookstore job because it's his passion. Yeah. But you won't know until you date him and find out.
It's like a chain bookstore. So like I feel like if you're super rich, you at least open your own, right?
You gotta date him. You gotta date him and find out.
No. Anyway, so
then it's just a few short years to freedom for you.
A few short years. It could easily be another 50 years.
When technology comes along and he's like immortal and you're like, fuck. Yeah. Fuck.
Anyway, while I was there, I found a copy of have you ever heard of the blog Hyperbole and a Half? So there used to be this really popular blog called Hyperbole and a Half by Allie Brosh, and she would draw like they're not even really comics because it would be more like a blog post, but with interspersed like really poorly drawn comics. Like poorly drawn on purpose, like really simple and funny looking doodles to like accompany her blog posts. And she was always super, super funny, like kind of tongue-in-cheek talking about her own struggles with like mental health, but also interspersing stories about like when she was a kid and ate an entire cake and then like puked all over her grandma's yard. So like you never knew what you were gonna get on the next blog post. And I followed that for a really long time, and this post kind of slowed down and then stopped. And then she came out with a book called Hyperbole and a Half. So it was like those comics and blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
And that was years and years and years ago. And I don't even know if the blog is still active. But while I was in the bookstore, I found a second book from Ali Brosh called Solutions and Other Problems. And the first, the first story was about when she was a little kid trying to fit her entire body into a bucket obsessively and kept getting stuck in the bucket, and her parents kept finding her stuck in a bucket.
Yeah.
And then the second story, like, I was crying laughing reading it. It's about how she was really little. She didn't know other people existed outside of her own house until she
Oh,
saw
wow.
she saw her neighbor outside, and then
Raymond?
became what? Oh no, not Raymond. She saw her neighbor standing outside and became like singularly obsessed with discovering more about her neighbor. It was like this older man.
Yeah.
So she would like
Did his name
sneak in.
sound like Rain Man?
It didn't sound like Rain Man. I
Okay.
think it was like David or something.
This is not a callback. This is a call forward.
It is.
That's probably really confusing.
It's foreshadowing.
We got it. All right. And continue. I'm sorry.
It's okay. She became obsessed with like observing him, so she kept sneaking in through the cat door of his house and stealing his things. I was like reading this going, no. And then she would tell her parents, yeah, I was just hanging out with our like 40-year-old neighbor, and they were like, what? Meanwhile, he has no idea she's doing this. But yeah, I highly recommend it. I'll send you, if I can find some of the posts that like sent me, I'll send you a couple because she's great.
Okay. Yeah, I need bite size. I'm not a reader.
Yeah, it's not like they're not heavy by any means. It'll be like a sentence or two and then a picture.
Cool. Sounds funny.
Yeah, she's very, very funny. Hey, what's new with you?
I had my anniversary this week. It was yesterday, as a matter of fact.
The big face reveal anniversary.
Yeah, we finally did a face reveal.
Yeah. Miriam has never seen you before.
No.
And that's faith. 16 whole years.
Yeah, I was going to do it on the 15th because that had like seemed more significant, but I chickened out.
Oh, okay.
So we decided to wait another year. But yeah, now she knows what I look like.
And what are her thoughts?
We're getting divorced.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, but I got a new TV.
Well, that's a fun consolation. That's great. Now you're going to be seeing colors again.
Yeah, hell yeah. I could see everything.
Wow.
Although this one's got like an anti-glare film that for some reason is like diffusing the light from one of my lamps into a rainbow.
Oh, that's interesting.
But it's when it's like very black on the screen, so it's like it's okay. I gotta do something about the lamp that's causing it. Yeah, the new TV is very nice. I like it.
Very nice.
Very nice. And the other thing is that audio drama idea I was talking about last week.
Mm-hmm.
I got an idea stewing.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. Maybe.
You think it like a brand new thing or adapting something you've already been doing?
Adapting something I've already been doing. And actually, right before we started talking, like another part of the story broke for me in my head when I was telling you. Like, I was kind of glad you were a little late because I was writing.
Yeah,
that's what I was writing.
Hell yeah!
So I think it's going. I think I might do an audio drama, and that's my news for the week.
Oh, I have great news for you. The story I was talking about where Ali Rosh became obsessed with her neighbor as a child is on her blog, so I will be sending it to you.
Oh, hell yeah.
And yeah, his name was Richard, by the way.
The old man?
He wasn't old, but old to her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a kid, you're going to call a 40-year-old an old man for sure.
Yeah.
I'm old as fuck to some 7-year-old.
Me too.
They're like, are you dying soon? No, that's what they do.
I mean, we never know. You could die soon. And that's what you tell a kid.
Hell yeah.
You could be hit by a bus.
Hey, I know your parents probably didn't tell you about this, but there's this nuclear holocaust thing that's hanging over all of our heads right now. Sleep tight. Cool. Why don't you go sleep night? Go night.
My grandma is like at the age where she's preparing for her imminent death, even though she's in perfect health. And like every time we go there, she's trying to get us to put our name on stuff that we want to like keep when she dies. So like she's very morbid about talking about it, and she'll be like, I hope the good Lord takes me soon. And I'll be like, Grandma, can you not talk about how much you want to die in front of your family members?
P.S. My mom trained me to start doing this from the time I was like 12.
Oh no. Well, so everyone.
I love my mom,
what was
but
your
goddamn.
What was your response to her when she would do that?
I would just roll my eyes.
Okay, yeah.
But internally, I was internalizing it. So like my mom basically like would catastrophize anything that ever happened to me. Ugh. So it'd be like, oh, you might die unless you I don't know, anything, something stupid. You're gonna die if you keep doing that, or maybe you'll die in 10 years or something. Perfect, if you keep smoking.
Oh, okay.
Which that was a decent one, I guess.
Yeah, that's rational. So my response to my grandma, usually because she really tries to like be a big ham and garner a lot of sympathy about it.
Yeah.
And whereas I'm like, Grandma, you're fine. So whenever she's like, I hope the Lord takes me tomorrow, I'm like, how would you feel if I was saying that?
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, I really hope a bus takes me tomorrow while I'm crossing the street. And she'd like hit me and be like, don't talk like that.
I think old people just normalize that shit.
Oh, totally.
I don't know what age that starts, but I think they all just do that. They're like, yeah, I'm going to die tomorrow, probably.
But she's worse than most about it.
Yeah.
So I have to like turn it back on her for her to stop talking.
Oh, yeah. Was this the grandma that rolled out of bed by accident?
Yes.
Yeah.
And again,
seems like a firecracker.
She's perfectly fine. She a couple months ago rolled out of bed. Like she was taking a nap on her bed and had fallen asleep near the edge of the bed, and then the phone rang. So she like went to get it and accidentally rolled onto the floor. She had broken, I think, 3 ribs, like cracked them. God and didn't refuse to go to the hospital for almost a week. Finally went. They repaired them right away and she started feeling a lot better, but they told her that it could take about 3 months for her to fully heal. So she's not supposed to bend like more than 90 degrees. Right. And she's not supposed to like lift heavy stuff or do heavy work of any kind. But my grandma is so stubborn that we've literally had to have family members come out and stay with her, or my mom has to go there because they know that if they are not constantly watching her, she will start doing yard work. She'll change her own curtains by getting up on a ladder. Like, she's such a brat. She's like a kid. I love her so much, but she really is like a little firecracker.
Yeah, that's old people shit too.
Yeah.
I think there's like an age. I'm already feeling it happening to me, by the way, with like 20-year-olds where I'm like, you're all fucking stupid.
But we also we don't have kids to torture. So we're just going to have to accept whatever happens to us.
Well, she's like the matriarch of the family. So like, you're not going to tell her anything.
No.
And she's going to be like, I do what I want.
Yeah. And like, she fully is. But there are enough of her descendants that can at least try to fight her about it. We're not going to have anyone fighting us. I mean, Miriam can fight you, but
a little bit.
When you're like, both real old.
Like I said before, I'm very fucking annoying to argue with.
Yes, I know.
It's hard. It's very hard. What did we watch last week?
I would like to preface this first one with saying yesterday Jesse was like, I really feel like watching a comedy. Yeah. And we're like, he's looking for stuff and he's like, what about this? And I was like, oh, maybe Too Dumb. And then he's like, oh, have you ever seen Rain Man? And me and Beth were both like, I don't think that's a comedy. And he was like, no, it's really funny. It has really funny parts. All I remember is laughing.
I just remember it for the funny parts.
Yeah. It wasn't like super tear jerky sad, but it did make it funny that anytime something like real sentimental started happening, we'd unmute to be like, I'm rolling on the floor laughing my ass off right now.
Beth would be like, I fell off my couch laughing.
Yeah.
Rain Man is funny.
It does have some funny moments.
It is sad.
It's a good movie. It is more of a drama than a comedy. It was just real funny to me that you were like, oh, comedy? Rain Man.
I had an experience when I suggested it, because in my head it was a drama with comedy in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, it's passable as a comedy, because I do remember laughing a lot during it. But then I went to IMDb and it just straight, like, the only genre listed was drama, and I was like, uh-oh, is this sadder than I remember it being?
I don't even think it was really that sad. It was more just like, it was kind of somewhat heavy.
And Tom Cruise's character is enough of a dick that you don't really care if he's sad.
Yeah.
So it was more sad. But
he got better.
Yeah. Yeah, he had an arc.
Yeah.
Once he figured out that his brother was Rain Man.
I was saying to
Felicia
Jesse,
couldn't let it go.
I fully couldn't believe that the whole reason that they call him Rain Man is because he like misheard Raymond as a kid, and also just a thought that he imagined his whole ass brother and thought it was an imaginary friend named Rain Man.
When this movie came out and that like revelation hit everybody, it was a big one.
I thought it was such a dumb twist.
Yeah, but it was, when it came out, it was big. That was a big twist.
And then we, one of the other things we'd do when we unmuted would be like, because Rain Man sounds like Raymond.
Yeah. As soon as that revelation hit, that started happening every 3 or 4 minutes for the rest of the movie. Rain. Oh, did he say Main Man?
Yeah, he did.
Or did he say Rain? Did he say Rain Man?
Because
his name is Raymond.
And then Beth said, oh, it's Charlie Babbitt because it sounds like Main Man.
Yeah, that's a good time. That's a good movie, though.
It was a good movie. It's also worth noting we were all not sober, so
correct.
I don't know how different it would have been if we were.
I don't know. I've seen it before, so
yeah.
We also watched The Resident Alien, which is a show on Sci-Fi that we started watching with our friends Rob and Lexi on Mondays.
Yeah. We got through 2 episodes.
Yeah,
right?
We watched 2 episodes of it, and I'm hooked in. I'm good to go.
Yeah, the first the pilot could have gone either way for me. I wasn't fully sold. Yeah. But by the second episode, I think I was a lot more in. It's very stupid but funny, and it is an interesting premise.
And just for everybody, the premise is that this alien comes to Earth. I'm not going to spoil the big premise, but alien comes to Earth, takes over a human body, and has to assimilate into a small town. And he does so as a doctor. Mm-hmm. And he's like smart enough to learn off of YouTube. Right. He's like socially dumb.
Yes. Like there's a bit where he is examining, like it's kind of a montage of doing different checkups on patients. And he just has like no bedside manner because he doesn't know what that is. So at one point the nurse kind of lectures him about talking to someone with more sensitivity, and he does it and he's great. And then at the end he's like, now let's take a look at that tit.
Yeah, it's a lot of comedy like that.
Yeah.
And it's dark.
Yeah.
I like how dark it is.
Yeah, it does go places.
Yeah. It's super dark. And the female lead, I just looked her up, is Sarah Tomko. She plays a character called Astra 12 Trees. Mm-hmm. And I really, really like her character.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm in. This one, it's fun.
Hell yeah.
And then we watched The Descent for our watch-along.
Yes, which you can listen to now.
I didn't hate it. It's going to come off like I hated it, but I didn't.
We also talked about it while playing Fortnite with some friends, and it does seem like Jesse has the minority opinion.
Yeah, I knew I did. Going in, because it had a really high rating on IMDb. It was like 8 or something. And I would rate it like a 6 or somewhere between like a 5.5 and a 6, which is watchable to me. So I didn't hate it, but I didn't like revere it for very specific reasons that are at the end of that episode.
Yeah.
The time for asking
any question
is right now.
Wow. We have one question from the Discord this week.
Oh, yeah.
It's Tyler, and his question is, From your top 5 favorite movies, which one would you go from your top 5 favorite movies, which one would you want to see a version from the antagonist's perspective?
So I struggled with this one because the majority of my favorite movies don't have a human antagonist.
Yeah.
At least not like in the traditional villain type of way.
What about that movie you showed me with the guy that lives in the wall?
But he's not the villain.
Yeah, he lives in then. Wait.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. The villain was the social worker.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, like I was thinking about it and stuff like Jurassic Park, The Mummy, Jaws, Stay Planned. Like all the antagonists are kind of just like either a creature, time, or disease.
Jaws would be the funniest, most boring. Because
yeah,
he's
it's just
watching
like
the shark swimming around underwater till it attacks him.
The whole soundtrack is just like bubbles.
Dude, that could actually be. That's fun, actually. What if you could? I think you could recut Jaws to do that.
Probably. That's not my answer. But that would be very funny.
Yeah.
So my answer, I think, would be Ravenous. Ravenous is a 1999 movie starring. Nope, you can look it up. I forget.
Starring
Guy
the
Pearce
weirdest soundtrack for a movie.
Yeah, Guy Pearce and Robert something. I always forget his last name, but I love him. So it's about cannibals, essentially. It's about Wendigo. And there's a good Wendigo and a bad Wendigo by the end. And you're following it from Guy Pearce's perspective. He's the protagonist. But I think it would be kind of interesting to see it from the Wendigo's protagonist because he does have like an interesting origin story where he was basically starving to death with a group of people and resorted to cannibalism, kind of made him evil.
Yeah.
So like if you follow his story from, being just a random innocent dude who's in a real bad situation all the way through like finding Guy Pearce and his friends and like trying to eat them. I think it could be fun.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be that much. I don't think it'd be that much different.
No, it probably wouldn't. That movie's dark. That's another dark, funny movie.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, it would be fun to see the Matrix from the architect's perspective, but I don't know if the architect is actually the antagonist there.
Yeah, that's just it. Like, this is only compelling when the villain is like interesting enough. Real, they have like an interesting motivation,
right?
And it's not just like they're super evil.
All right, mine's pretty easy. It's just Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight, and it's just because I want more of Heath Ledger's Joker.
I was gonna say this exists and it's called The Joker.
No, not the same. Not the same. The Joker is a good movie, but I don't want to watch it again. But Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight that's a chef's kiss. That's like the best antagonist I can think of. I think it might be my favorite antagonist other than what's his name? I don't know my favorite antagonist's actual name, but it's from Jessica Jones and it's played by Doctor Who. Give me a second.
Played by the Doctor Who.
Yeah, this is disrespectful, so I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Because that's actually an incredible performance by him. And I want to get his name right. David Tennant. I couldn't remember it.
He's great, yeah.
He played Kilgrave in Jessica Jones. And I think it's between that and Heath Ledger's Joker for me for my favorite antagonist in anything. It's just a really well-written character.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's mine.
I've been playing out a lot of hypotheticals in my mind.
Me too, because we didn't have one on Discord, so I made one up.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You're given the entire Disney catalog to choose from. Make a horror out of one property.
So I didn't have a lot of time to think about this, but like where my mind immediately went was really early Disney and like Sleeping Beauty and Snow White specifically.
Yeah.
Because they both are already pretty dark. Specifically like Sleeping Beauty because it's like the witch cursed her to fall asleep and she has to be awoken by the prince's kiss. And there's like a whole sequence where he's trying to get to her and the witch like makes the thorns come to life and like attack him. So I think that you could just go full dark with that movie. I think you could just make it a straight up horror film and like, I don't know, maybe focus on the prince's trek through the forest and like have a whole bunch of antagonists that he has to overcome.
I would be surprised if some vague version of this doesn't already exist.
Probably does, but that was just where my mind went immediately.
That's a good one. I think that one lends itself nicely to horror.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine is The Mighty Ducks. And it's one of the kids is an absolute psychopath and takes out the star player from each team before they play. And he uses a hockey skate to do it. Like he slits their throats.
Do we know who the murderer is immediately, or is that a reveal?
Yeah, we know immediately.
Okay.
It's this kid, but like nobody knows what's happening to the other players. So we know which one's evil. And I think
the audience knows they're evil, but the players don't.
Yeah. It's either the kid or it's the old man. Have you seen The Mighty Ducks?
Like very long time ago. I don't remember much about it.
Do you remember the premise at all where it's like
I remember quack, quack,
quack, quack,
quack, quack.
Gordon Bombay is like this star player as a kid, and he's got a mentor. But then I don't know, he gets hurt or some shit. He stops playing hockey and turns into a lawyer. Comes back and his mentor is like this old guy that runs a skate shop. So the alternative would be the old guy that runs the skate shop is the psycho murderer, because he was like a very nice man. And I think that would be fun.
He was just trying to teach a lesson about overcoming your circumstances.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it isn't good. That's the impression that I get.
Wow.
Wow.
We're really rifling through this show.
Yeah. Well, full disclosure, we are recording a little bit earlier than usual, so we don't have quite as much of a backlog of things to talk about.
That's true. Felicia got to go somewhere this weekend.
Yeah, I got to go to my parents and bring the cat who hates every part of the journey.
Are you excited about bad first impressions? That's what I'm giving this.
I'm in such a weird, first of all, that's rude. But I'm in such a weird headspace where I'm like really tired and I almost feel hungover. That like, yeah, sure, I'm ready.
Oh, cool.
I'll fight God. I don't care.
Do you remember the last time we did this? And I was like, I'm going to make the next one hard.
Yeah.
That's going to be a monologue. I did that.
A whole monologue?
It's a monologue. What do you think RB stands for?
I've been trying to figure that out. Is it Rosebud?
It's Rocky Balboa.
What the fuck? This is a whole ass monologue.
Yeah, it's a monologue. I'll do it too.
But it's just so long. Are you going to even play it for me?
Yeah, I'm playing it right now.
Okay.
Although.
What?
Would it be fun?
What?
No, I'll play it right now. You need to get the gist of it.
Yeah, I also don't know enough about Rocky to know what he sounds like.
What the hell? You don't know what Rocky sounds like?
It's Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can, I guess, extrapolate, but...
All right, here you go.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Wow.
Okay, you've made a mistake.
What?
And you know why?
Did I make?
Because you've given me a monologue, which is a very theater kid thing that you've done to me.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer doing an impression. I'm doing a monologue, and I'm going to break your heart.
Why are you going to break my heart?
I'm going to be so good that you're going to cry.
Dude, you could do it. This is a great monologue. This is like an all-time classic sports movie monologue.
I don't know that I can get quite as like... as he does.
He's an old washed up boxer.
Yeah.
And he's yelling at his kid.
Oh, it's his kid. Okay.
Yeah, he's yelling at his kid who's fucked. I've been a while since I've seen this, but his kid's fucking up somehow.
Okay, I'm gonna do this, and you're not allowed to interrupt me, no matter what happens.
I'm gonna mute my microphone.
Perfect. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Okay, get ready. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are. It'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get it and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Wow. I want to put an audience. I feel bad for not having an audience applauding. I swear next time we do this, I'll have an applause.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I'm gonna add it in
roses
post.
For me.
You're gonna get a real big standing ovation. Wow, that was great.
Thanks.
You did a good monologue.
Oh, thanks.
You want me to fuck it up?
No. Well, you're not gonna fuck up my monologue, but you can fuck up that one. That's fine.
Yours is gonna be way better than mine.
Perfect.
I'm gonna actually try to do Rocky.
Excuse me, I did Rocky perfectly. So.
Not as gruff. You did good though. I feel like you might have acted better than him.
Wow, great.
I'll give you a little compliment. All right, I'm gonna take a sip too. Okay. Another one. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, nobody's gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Wait, I might have gone off of Brooklyn to something else. But in the same vein. Hold on, I gotta recover.
Okay.
That's how winning is done.
Nope, I did it again. Maybe I have to cut that.
No, you don't. I feel like you just slipped into Bob's Burgers.
Something like that. I'm gonna start at the beginning of the line.
Okay.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
See, I feel like you started so strong. You were giving me so much Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
But somewhere you cartoonified yourself.
I did. I don't know when it happened, but I heard it happen as I was doing it.
That's how winning is done.
Yeah. Right there, my accent slipped from Brooklyn.
Well, you became the Bob's Burgers version of Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, and I couldn't recover. Damn it. I felt like I had it going.
It started so good, yeah.
All right, I think you get the W this week. I think you would have got the W anyway. There's nothing I could have fucking done.
You did a solid Sylvester Stallone impression.
You brought the heat. Sylvester Stallone's one of the impressions I can do over the top. It's a funny boy.
Yeah, you made a fatal mistake by making it an audition.
Monologue's kind of fun, though. You kind of fucking knocked it out of the park.
Thank you so much.
I'm impressed.
The guy was tearing him to pieces with his mouth. So I told him, get off, and the guy just kept eating the other guy away, ripping his skin.
Larry Vega describes it as a scene out of a horror movie as a naked man chewed off the face of another naked man.
It's time for
I always forget about
the news. What? Don't forget about it. It's my favorite bumper of all. I love it.
It always
so
takes
much.
me by pleasant surprise when he hits the naked man's face being chewed off by another naked man.
Hell yeah. Wow, it's time for the news. The first bit of news I have here is that the Super Mario trailer dropped.
Yep.
And everything about it was wonderful until Chris Pratt opened his mouth.
Yep. I just listened to it. I didn't watch the whole trailer. I just listened to a part where he spoke. Yeah. And it sounds like Chris Pratt doing the like slightest like Guido Italian accent.
Yeah. It sounded like his character from the Lego movie to me.
Oh, I don't know what that sounds like, so I can't compare it, but it doesn't sound like it's me, Mario.
It sounds like a slightly upbeat, just normal guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was perfect for the Lego movie, but that's not what you want to do with Mario.
No.
I don't know. I hate this shit, man. I don't know why they just didn't get some guy from Brooklyn to do it. Why couldn't they do that?
Well, I think it's very funny. And I also hope that when the Garfield trailer comes out, it's the exact same voice that he does for Garfield.
He's just always doing his regular voice. That would be funny.
But with Garfield's like a slightly offensive accent.
But it's not, it's just a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
So why don't they get a fucking Brooklyn actor to do it? I feel like they wussed out. They didn't want Chris Pratt to do the Brooklyn accent over the top like Mario does.
It's probably like in his contract somewhere that if he does voice work, he still has to sound recognizable as Chris Pratt.
Maybe. I hate it. I hate this.
Yeah.
And they filled it with stars, most of whom like knocked it out of the park in the trailer, like Jack Black especially. Mm-hmm. Was he that was King Koopa, right? Am I misremembering?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so. So I thought Jack Black nailed it.
No, sorry. Jack Black is Bowser.
Bowser. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know enough about Mario stuff, but I know that.
I mixed up Bowser and everybody. There's been too many of them to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I don't know why they just didn't get a Brooklyn person. I don't know why they feel like they have to cast stars in these giant intellectual property movies where...
Especially when it's voice acting. Like, voice actors are a thing. You don't need to just hire regular actors.
Yeah, you don't need fucking stars. You have this, like, everybody in the goddamn world knows what Mario is, so if you just cast it right...
And you'd pay them a lot less, probably.
Yeah, you could pay them less, but I don't know. Feels scummy. Plus, they have a voice actor for Mario.
Yeah,
that guy exists. They could have just gave him the money and gave him a payday, but no, we got regular ass Chris Pratt.
Perfect.
Dan Harmon believes Donald Glover will come back for the Community movie, and I'm on board if that happens.
Was he just saying I have faith that he will, or he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen?
Yeah, it was kind of like a, I have faith he will sort of thing. He didn't set anything in stone, but Dan Harmon's a showrunner, and I feel like he's not going to say that unless it's a big possibility.
Yeah, that's true.
That would make me very happy. I know you haven't seen Community, but like Donald Glover was my favorite part of it, and when he left, it like lost its soul. So I would be very happy if he came back in the Community movie.
That would also be like a very weird and misleading thing to say if he doesn't end up coming back.
Yeah. He could very well not end up coming back, though, because he's very, like, he's picky about what he does these days.
Yeah. This is the first time that I don't have any secret news of my own to share because it's been a matter of days.
All right, then. Let's move on.
Hell yeah.
We come together on a huge silver screen because we need that, all of us. That indescribable feeling we get feels good in a place like this.
What's coming out?
There's one movie of note coming to theaters nationwide on Friday, October 14th, and that is Halloween Ends. It is a thriller horror movie, also on Peacock. It is the saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode coming to a spine-chilling climax in this final installment of the franchise.
I didn't watch the prequel for this.
Neither did I.
And I'm probably not going to watch this. Halloween's not my favorite anyway.
Same. I've seen the first 3. They're just fine.
I saw the first one. What were you gonna say?
I'm just not a big 80s horror fan.
I do like some 80s horror. I like Friday the 13th, or not Friday the 13th, but Nightmare on Elm Street a lot. And there's some other random slashers in the 80s that I love. And Maximum Overdrive, which is a stupid, real dumb Stephen King movie. But yeah, I saw Halloween for the first time last year, and I wasn't like knocked back by it or blown away.
Yeah, and then you also saw Halloween 2 in VR.
Oh, that's right. I did see that.
Yeah.
But we don't really see those. It's probably bits.
Right. And I think that the Halloween movies taking place in present day, like this one and the previous one, I think don't factor in any of the Halloween sequels. I think it's basically picking up from the end of Halloween. Well, I mean, I know it's years and years and years later, but I think it like negates a lot of stuff that happened in Halloween 3 through 7 or whatever, how many fucking movies there are. So I don't think you need to see those movies in order to see the new stuff.
I think this one is just a sequel to like the reboot or whatever. Also, my cat says hi.
Hi. Which cat?
That's Jester.
Hi, Jester.
Jester is currently walking circles around me doing trills.
Oh, so cute.
And she's carrying she's got like a little knit thing.
Our cats have been vocal this week. Yesterday during Rain Man, I was making some late night taquitos, and my cat doesn't like the oven. And I think he's triggered when he smells something burning. So I think I'd made something in the oven previously that must have dripped. So it was like smelling a little bit like burned stuff.
The Totino's party pizza.
Yeah. I think a piece of cheese got on the oven.
Yeah, that happens with those.
Yeah. But like as soon as I could smell something burning, I was like, uh-oh. And sure enough, he starts screaming.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was that while the movie was going?
Yeah. It was towards the beginning.
Was there a part where Rain Man was also fucking going nuts? And your cat was also going nuts? Because there was like a fire.
Yeah, the fire alarm.
There was a smoke detector scene. And I think that's right.
Yeah. It ranges.
Wow.
My cat's reaction. It's also kind of a protection thing because if I go into the living room and sit with him, he's okay. But if I go into the kitchen where the smell is coming from, the screams get louder. So it's like very much, it ranges from little worried meows to full out like yowling if I'm in the kitchen.
Felicia.
Jesse.
What's new on streaming?
First thing we got is a drama called To Leslie on Vudu. It is inspired by true events. A West Texas single mother wins the lottery and squanders it just as fast, leaving behind a world of heartbreak. Years later, with her charm running out and nowhere to go, she fights to rebuild her life and find redemption. I actually did see the trailer to this, and I don't know why.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes.
It looks great. It looks very heavy, so prepare to be sad.
Yeah.
It's directed by Michael Morris from Better Call Saul and lots of other TV credits. It's written by Ryan Bonaco, who is relatively unknown, and it's edited by my friend Chris McCaleb.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think they shared it in the Discord.
They did. And it's Chris McCaleb was a guest host on Talk and Banter, the Dynamic Banter after show for I think maybe like 5 episodes or 6. And he's a Dream Warriors editor, so we worked on that Bill and Ted thing together.
Hell yeah.
And he also shouted me out on the Better Call Saul podcast one time.
Wow.
For helping him fix an audio problem.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, this is actually like got a 7.1 on IMDb.
Ooh.
And it stars Allison Janney, who I fucking absolutely adore.
She's great.
She's from The West Wing, and she's my favorite character in that show. Andrea Riseborough, who is Tasia from Possessor, which I think I've seen Possessor.
I don't think I have.
I think I have. I think that's about it's like a future thing where they inhabit humans as assassins. They like take over their bodies and assassinate someone and then bounce back or whatever. I think that's what it is, but I would like to watch that at some point. And Mark Maron, who is a famous comedy podcast man.
Yeah, also in Glow.
Yeah. Check out To Leslie. Our friend is in it.
Hell yeah.
It's on Vudu.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Next thing on the list is the Interview with the Vampire TV series. It's AMC Plus. It's a drama, fantasy, horror series based on Anne Rice's iconic novel. Follow Louis Dupont's epic story of love, blood, and the perils of immortality as told to the journalist Daniel Malloy. I never saw the movie Interview with the Vampire.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember it being slow and creepy because it's got a little girl in it. But I think it was good.
Yeah, because I think Anne Rice kind of famously writes like horny vampire books.
Yeah.
So I was never like into that because it all felt a little too teen drama to me.
My trailer notes for this says looks horny, so that checks out.
Yeah, bound to be. But it stars Jacob Anderson, who's from Broadchurch.
Dean Thomas.
Cool. I don't remember that character. Sam Reed. I don't know that guy either. And Eric Bogosian, who I also don't know.
There's Arno from Uncut Gems. And in this movie reminds me a ton of Anthony Bourdain for some reason.
Interesting.
Very similar looking.
Jacob Anderson is the guy who played Grey Worm in Game of Thrones, isn't he?
I don't.
Because I know that guy. Yeah, it is. He was in Game of Thrones.
I buried the lead. I listed the
You
wrong
did.
credit.
I was like, Dean Thomas from Broadchurch. I don't remember that at all, but he is from Game of Thrones.
I do remember Dean Thomas from Broadchurch. Yeah, I missed that whole game of. Yeah, I should have known that was Grey Worm by looking at him.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're into Interview with the Vampire, watch this and tell us how well it sticks with the story, and if you like this in the movie better.
Yeah, or if you like horny shit.
Yeah. Tell us if you like horny shit. Next thing on the list is called A Friend of the Family. It is a biography crime drama on Peacock. It's a series. It tells the harrowing true story of the Broberg family, whose daughter Jan was kidnapped multiple times over a period of years by a charismatic, obsessed family friend.
I watched the trailer. It looks great, but I've never heard of this story.
Neither have I.
And I want to watch it, kind of.
Is it done like documentary style or reenactment style?
I think it's more like reenactment, like dramatization.
Okay.
But it looked good, and it looked maybe like it's about a serial killer. They were kind of like kept it close to the vest.
It definitely is like true crimey.
Yeah, for sure. I was excited to see that it was created by Nick Antosca, because he co-produced the Hannibal series on NBC, which is very good, and also about a serial killer.
The show?
Yeah.
I mean, I like the first 2 seasons of the Hannibal show starring Mads Mikkelsen. The 3rd season goes completely off the rails, and I can't even finish it, so I don't know how much that bodes for this.
It sucks it got canceled at that point, too.
Yeah.
He also produced a new Chucky series, which I heard good things about. Stars Jake Lacey, who is Clyde from the High Fidelity series, which I don't think you've seen.
No.
Anna Paquin.
Sucky.
No matter if you watch True Blood, you got to do that.
Yeah.
It's like a rule.
Yeah.
Sucky.
Sucky.
Colin Hanks, who is in a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll always remember him as Alex from Roswell.
All right. Well, next thing on the list, Conversations with the Killer, the Jeffrey Dahmer tapes. Is this different than the... Yeah, I guess. I think...
No.
I hate when they do this, where it's like they just kind of stack, because I'm sure the reenactment show starring Evan Peters, I'm sure that's super, super popular. So I feel like this is just piggybacking off of that while people are still talking about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Wait, what do you... This is the same...
No, it's not.
This isn't the same thing?
I don't think so.
This is what everybody's talking about.
Conversations with the Killer, the Jeffrey Dahmer tapes documentary starring Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't think this is the same thing.
Who'd you say it was starring?
Evan Peters. This seems like a documentary.
Hold on. Did I look up? Oh, this doesn't have Evan Peters in it.
Yeah. because this is a documentary. That other show is not a documentary.
Oh. How long ago did the Evan Peters thing come out?
A couple weeks.
Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Is this a separate thing, or did you put the wrong thing down?
I probably meant to put this down. I'm very confused.
I wouldn't be surprised because they do this. It's like whenever they release something about a serial killer, a bunch of other things come out at the same time to like piggyback on the thing that's popular.
Yeah, but I thought this was a popular thing.
It might be, but it's not the same thing as what you're thinking of.
Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Yeah, I wrote the wrong shit down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my bad.
So the thing that you were meaning to type out is the Evan Peters one.
Yeah, you're right. Wow,
okay.
How did it? Fuck who is it? Netflix?
Yeah.
They put both of these out.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's what I'm saying.
Okay, wait. I wrote down the right one.
Okay.
This one came out September 21st with Evan Peters.
Uh-huh.
The one that I put here came out more recently.
Okay.
And people are talking about it too.
Gotcha. So yeah, Netflix is a prime example of this. They're just like, oh, this is popular. Let's keep it going. I think it's gross. So first of all, the Evan Peters thing, I refuse to watch it because very notably the families of the Jeffrey Dahmer victims were super against it and like do not support its release. So I think it feels really gross to watch it.
Yeah,
and now,
that part makes me feel icky.
Yeah. And now we get a second Jeffrey Dahmer thing that I don't need to consume. So
people were saying this one's good but fucked up.
Well, yeah.
I wasn't going to watch either of them anyway because I already knew the story.
Yeah, I don't like true crime. I don't like that we keep making serial killers more and more famous by doing these like exposés that really turn out to be people like almost empathizing with them.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
That's fair. I think we're stuck with it.
I know.
Because people aren't getting any saner.
No. And I don't condemn you for liking that kind of stuff. I just think, consider the real people involved and whether they're okay with this information being popularized over and over again and reigniting that trauma.
That's big for me too. The fucking torture factor where these people just keep getting they probably have producers calling them for updated interviews and shit. And that's probably
right.
Probably sucks.
Let them live in peace. All right, next on the list. The Midnight Club, a drama horror mystery Netflix series. The Midnight Club follows a group of 5 terminally ill patients at Bright Cliff Hospice who begin to gather together at midnight to share scary stories.
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
I think you're going to like this because it's Mike Flanagan.
Oh, that's fun.
My trailer notes looks pretty spoopy.
It does look spoopy.
The trailer I watched featured Possum Kingdom by the Toadies, which is an all-time banger for me, so I'm fucking in.
Hell
but
yeah.
I'm wondering, I was going to ask you about this. I assumed you were going to know about this for some reason.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm surprised that I didn't because usually they're very transparent about what's coming out, and I feel like they've kind of kept this under wraps. I knew that Flanagan was working on a Fall of the House of Usher series. So I didn't know that they had something else in the works.
So the thing that piqued my interest, I don't really know. I didn't research this enough because again, we kind of rushed this week.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had another day, I would have looked to see if this is a sequel because every star in this is also in Midnight Mass.
No, they do that.
But it's like Midnight Mass and then the Midnight Club, or do you think it's along the lines? It's Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor.
It's definitely an anthology. They couldn't make a sequel to Midnight Mass.
Okay, I still need to watch that, by the way.
Yeah. So you watched The Haunting of Hill House, but you haven't seen Bly Manor or Midnight Mass.
Correct. Yeah, I haven't watched those yet.
But yeah, they do that. They recycle the actors.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily one for one. They're not in every single season, but you'll see the same people showing up in multiple seasons.
Well, nice little surprise for Felicia.
Yeah, that's fun. They're even, I absolutely love Haunting of Hill House. I will watch it over and over again and cry my eyes out every time. Bly Manor I thought was just okay. I also cried my eyes out, but I feel like it wasn't as earned. And then Midnight Mass was also pretty good, but like they've kind of gone slightly down in ratings every time I've watched a new Flanagan series. They're all good, but like nothing tops Hill House for me. So we'll see.
Well, the trailer looked interesting.
Yeah, I'm down to watch it.
Hell yeah.
Next on the list, we have God's Country, a thriller, and it's a movie out on VOD, I guess. When a college professor confronts two hunters she catches trespassing on her property, she's drawn into an escalating battle of wills with catastrophic consequences.
Yeah.
I don't recognize any of the names attached to this.
Nope. This is just highly rated. Came out on streaming. I don't know much about it. I watched the trailer and it looked pretty good. It looks like a thriller.
Hell yeah.
So if you want to watch a new thriller, check out God's Country. It is highly rated.
All right. I guess 'tis the season of thrillers because this next thing is also a thriller. It's called Luckiest Girl Alive. It's a movie on Netflix. A woman in New York who seems to have things under control is faced with trauma that makes her life unravel.
Yep. And I, from the trailer, it said it's based on a best-selling novel of the same name, I assume. And I'm still not totally sure what it's about, but it looks well made. Like, could tell it was quality.
I like that anytime it stars somebody from deep water, you have to put the note snails.
Yeah, you read down to
I sure did.
Finn Whitrock.
Yep.
Tony from Deepwater.
Tony.
Snails and Anna de Armas naked.
For no reason.
For no reason.
All right. We have a couple more to get through, guys. Next thing on the list, Significant Other. It's a drama, mystery, sci-fi on Paramount Plus. It's a movie. Follows a young couple who take a remote backpacking trip through the Pacific Northwest and face sinister events, leading them to realize that everything about the place is not as it seems.
Yeah. Check the trailer. Looks spoopy. Looks very pretty.
Written and directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olson, who did The Stakelander. So that's
why I put this on the list.
Although it's the wrong team, but
what do you mean?
I mean, if it was Nick D'Amici, then I'd be in immediately. But I don't know, maybe.
It looked pretty, but it's hard for the Pacific Northwest not to look pretty. They're shooting in the woods.
But it stars Micah Monroe, and she's fucking great.
I put this one on here for you.
Yeah. I'm going to say she's from The Guest because I don't like It Follows.
Okay. I've never seen It Follows. That's the only one I noticed.
So yeah, I don't know. I could watch it.
Check the trailer. The trailer got me a little bit. It looks pretty creepy.
I would rather not watch the trailer because I'd like to be surprised. I'm just going to watch this cold, I think.
Right on.
Next on the list, we have Hellraiser, a horror mystery thriller on Hulu. It's a take on Clive Barker's 1987 horror classic where a young woman struggling with addiction comes into possession of an ancient puzzle box, unaware that its purpose is to summon the Cenobites.
Looks great. High budget from the trailer. I've never seen the original.
I haven't either, so I have no real interest.
I think we saw the second one, but it was like one of those nights in VR where it's all bits.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about it.
I remember the puzzle box thing, but I don't remember why they have pinheads or whatever.
I don't either.
But I have a feeling if you like Hellraiser, you're going to like this. Because
I've heard it's fun.
It looks good.
It's a Lady Hellraiser.
Yeah, Lady Hellraiser.
Hell yeah. All right, next, The Inhabitant. It's a horror thriller movie out on VOD. A series of supernatural events reveals a dark truth behind a tormented teenager. This is very vague.
It is very vague because this is one that I probably could have cut. It made the cut based on its rating, which was decent.
I like that pretty much all your notes have been look spoopy.
Look spoopy. It does.
I also don't remember any. I don't recognize any of these names.
No, I didn't either. So I don't know if you like horror, you're looking for shit to watch this Halloween. Maybe
I think that's kind of just what all of these are. It's just
basically,
hey, Halloween's coming up. You want to?
Oh man, I'm very excited about this next one.
The next one is called Masking Threshold. It is a drama fantasy horror on Amazon Prime. Conducting a series of experiments in his makeshift home lab, a skeptic IT worker tries to cure his harrowing hearing impairment. Do you want to watch it because it's about you?
Yeah. I watched the trailer and my note is, this is a body horror that looks like it was made just for me. It is directed by
yes, please say that name.
Johannes Grensfurthner. Johannes Grensfurthner.
There you go.
Who is an OG nerd / hacker boy. It stars Ethan Haslam as a voice only, which I think is the narrator in the trailer. So this might be like a first person type of thing. I'm not sure. It stars the director, Johannes Grensfurthner, and it stars Jason Scott Sadowski, who is internet royalty for little hacker boys from the 90s like me. He runs textfiles.com, and he did BBS the documentary, and he did DEF CON the documentary, which are two hackery subjects.
Yeah, this definitely does feel like it's for you.
Yeah, it's for me, but the trailer still looked like it could be for you too. It looks
well,
like,
I don't like body horror, so I don't know that it is.
Yeah, maybe it's just for me.
I think it might just be for you.
Yeah, but it looked fucking rad, and people should check it out. It's got a high rating too.
Cool.
Hey, what are we watching
this week?
What are we watching this week, you think?
We're gonna watch Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
It's a comedy horror. It's out on Paramount Plus. Neither of us have ever seen this movie. I've only heard good things, but somebody that I used to not like really loved this movie and tried to make me watch it, so I refused out of spite for many years.
Yeah.
I did not know it also stars Anna Paquin as Suki, so that's fun.
P.S. That was a cut and paste. It's not on Paramount Plus.
Oh, it's not on Paramount Plus. It's just out on VOD somewhere.
Yeah, it's VOD. You can get it for $3 from basically anywhere, like YouTube, Vudu, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, Google Play, whatever.
Jesse lied to you all.
Sorry. Or Fubo TV or Philo with a subscription, whatever those are. Yeah, I've only heard about this as a Halloween classic, but I don't know anything about it.
Same. So we're gonna have some fun.
We're gonna go in blind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
I think we recorded a whole ass podcast.
We recorded a whole ass podcast.
Hell yeah.
A little shorter, but that's okay.
We still got some Friday night to watch Ghost Files with Beth.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I missed my own cue.
Oh, you missed the cue.
Wait, it's coming. Bye.
You're listening to.
You've been listening to two talking over stuff produced by Jesse Stillwell with original theme and outro music by Jesse Stillwell,
including that monologue. I wrote that Rocky monologue. That was me.
And performed that monologue.
To contact@idiots.fm.
I wrote that whole monologue.
Yeah.
I wrote Rocky Balboa the movie.
Yeah. He is Sylvester Stallone.
I could be. You don't know. I do his voice pretty good.
Oh, I think you're still stuck in cartoon.
No, I'm not. Don't tell me that. I'm Rocky Balboa.
King of New York.
I'm the king of New York. I'll beat the shit out of all those kids. Fuck, bring those newsies over to me. I'll beat the fucking shit out of them. I'll make them forget. I'll make them forget they ever came to Philadelphia in the first place.
Okay. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.